Losing Akira Toriyama is just about the largest blow imaginable to the world of manga. The most influential illustrator, in my opinion, who's ever lived. I know the argument can be made and is arriving now because of the fact that I called him this in my memorial videos and people didn't want to start bickering about it right away. But Osamu Tezuka is the most important manga author of all time. I don't know if he personally inspired as many people to draw as Toriyama did. Now, you could say that because Toriyama wouldn't have, he probably wouldn't have been drawing if not for Tezuka. It makes Tezuka more influential at a core level. I think that if you want to keep going back through history, like there's always somebody who inspired the person you're talking about. It always goes back to they saw something that was the spark to make all of this happen. And so I think it's most fair to credit, when we're talking about influence, when we're talking about like who had the most influence, whoever reached the most people directly, regardless of the reach of the things that influenced them in the first place. Most of the people who saw Dragon Ball Z, the reason I call it so influential is those people had not seen Astro Boy. I had never heard of Astro Boy. I had never heard of Osamu Tezuka. I was a kid from the 90s, and there were just not only more people on planet Earth in the 90s than in the 60s, but larger global culture. There was just more opportunity for somebody to be the most influential manga author. That was created by Tezuka. So again, he is the most important, the most integral. But I think if we're talking about what artist inspired other artists to draw the most, I think Akira Toriyama takes the cake. And also the people who he inspired to draw most directly, are also the biggest successes in the world now, So there's a very real feeling that, like, sure, you wouldn't have Toriyama without Tezuka, but the amount that you wouldn't have without Toriyama, if we only had Tezuka but never had Toriyama, we wouldn't have anywhere close to the level of influence that anime now has culturally worldwide. So that's why just to be a little bit more in the logic about why I consider Toriyama to be the all-time most influential illustrator. And, I don't want to get too weepy in memorializing in this video because I already have another one that's about that. I want to talk about his manga, like why we all love this guy so much. He wrote this amazing manga, and when I was a kid, I was not particularly like a huge Dragon Ball kid. To me, Dragon Ball, it was too masculine, also too kind of grown up. Like the characters, granted, we're talking about Dragon